Give me just a moment here. So I went live recently, just not too long ago, but many of you well, my audio wasn't working, not even many of you, but that was on me while you all were not able to hear me. So, yeah, now I should be good to go. Okay. All right, y'all. Now I should be good to go. So typically I start at 5:30. However, I went live and nobody could hear me. I appreciate y'all for letting me know that you could not hear me. So it'll still be 15 minutes. I'll probably just delete the other live so that way y'all don't get confused because it's literally me just going like you can't hear nothing. So I apologize for that. So our title is the first Labor Day was about value in voice and are you ignoring yours? And so this live stream is really about the balance between recognizing where we are currently versus where acknowledging that we can grow and that there is an opportunity to improve. And so the question that I pose to you is what do you do when the career ladder doesn't move, but you still want to grow? So, what do you do when the career ladder doesn't move, but you still want to grow? So, that's what we will be focusing in on here today. So, quickly, let's talk about Labor Day. Labor Day was a mix of, and I'm not a historian, but Labor Day was a mix of a couple of things. So, hopefully, you all are enjoying your long weekend. But it was a mix of a couple of things. It was a mix of advocating and voicing the fact of all of the work that these individuals have done, and it was also a mix of being able to say, hey, this is what we deserve. This is what our worth is because they were working maybe even 80, 100 hours a week. And they wanted to cut that down to that 40 hours, which is, we know as our, mm, um, our typical work week in the United States. But I think that many of us we still wrestle with the labor versus celebration. Like, how are we able to get past this? How are we able to move forward with it? That's what it parallels, what we are talking about with Labor Day. And the reason why I am sharing this is for two things. Um, Number one, someone recently shared with me that when talking about contentment, when as far as, how do we value the current position that we are in and see that as a place in order for us to be proud of and to be um satisfied with to a certain extent. They said that that could be a very dangerous place for people to go because then people will become complacent and they will feel that they aren't able to do more or to grow because they don't have to. But I want to clarify that stance that contentment and ambition are not enemies. Contentment and ambition are not opposite sides of of career growth and progression. It's actually something that can work together where we can be proud of everything that we've done in our current role. We can see the power that we have with the ability that we have with what we're capable of. And we can also look to what's next. And this is something that I shared in an article earlier this week, and I'll post that in the comments um, as well a little bit later. But just recognizing that we are not in a either or society when it comes to professional development. We can do both. And one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this is because of my grandmother, Irene, who she wanted to be a nurse when she was younger, but she was not able to be a nurse because she ended up having to take care of of her siblings, her family. And so that was a dream that she gave up. And when she, ended up having kids of her own, there was still some financial struggles that were there. And as I think about that, I think that, nobody's gonna sit here and tell me that she did not that what she did wasn't powerful, that what she did wasn't worthy of value or anything like that. No. And the reason for that is because she was trying her best, and not every situation allows us to have the job of our dreams. Not every situation allows us to get promoted, but it's not success isn't just about that professional sense. It expands outside of that. There are so many other different aspects of being successful, of having value to add to the community or whatever the case may be. And I feel like she exemplified that. And it's not even just about her, but there are so many other individuals out there who they're trying and they're working hard and they're doing the best that they can. And if our focus is always on getting to the next level, getting to the next step, then when will we ever appreciate where we are? And that's what's so important to me about having contentment, but about having ambition as well, and maybe even a little bit of crossover. There was an article by Times Magazine. I can send you the exact link if you'd like it. Just let me know. Where it said, I think it was around. Do I have it here? No, it's right over here. 85% reported symptoms of burnout. 85% of employees reported symptoms of burnout. And when we think about, the topics that we covered last week, when we are talking about job hugging and quiet cracking and coffee badging, all of those different types of things where we're not truly wanting to engage, we're not truly wanting to have those conversations. I feel like a big piece of it is because we're constantly trying to get to that next level. And again, there's nothing wrong with ambition, not in the least. But being able to balance it, I think, is so very important. When we look at contentment alone, it can stagnate us because we can fall into complacency. We may stop challenging ourselves or may stop looking for opportunities for improvement. But when we look at ambition, ambition can also mislead us if that's the only thing that we're thinking of, because it sets us up to think that growth is only upward. But when we combine the two, we're able then to balance where we are now versus where we're looking to go into the future. And going back to Labor Day, I feel that with the strikes and with these professionals saying, "Hey, this is what we want. We want to do more," but also celebrating and having these parades, that is a prime example of what it means to acknowledge the value that we've created, but to also look forward into the future. And so for our weekly challenge, there are a couple of things I want you to keep in mind here. I want you to think about your last achievement and celebrate it. Take the time to celebrate it. And when we talk about celebrating it, it's not something where you have to um have a parade where you have to go out and eat dinner, but just to acknowledge that I did that. Whatever that action was, that was something that I did and I am proud of that work, right? And then I you can think about three things. Three things that you've accomplished in the last 90 days. So maybe one item per month if you'd like that you've accomplished. And if you want to think about more, think about more. Um, and then there are a couple of questions that I posted in my article, but I'll share these here as well. And that one question is my ambition making me overlook the value of where I am? Is my ambition making me overlook the value of where I am? And is my contentment making me try less than I could? So, is my ambition making me look the value of where I am? And is my contentment making me try less than I could? I think our answers to those will really help us to be able to balance both. So once again, y'all, I'm so sorry that the audio wasn't working the first go around. I know I cut this one a little bit short the second go around, but hopefully you all are able to get the gist of everything that was shared today. Um, I will be looking out in my direct messages if anybody wants to direct message me there for any questions or comments or whatever the case may be. I'm happy to continue the conversation. And I hope that you all are enjoying your Labor Day weekend and that you will continue to enjoy your Labor Day weekend. And yeah, that's that's it. I'll end with this, that Labor Day reminds us that value, um, it doesn't come from the next milestone. It comes from our courage to be able to recognize where we are and where we have the opportunity to grow. So with that, you all enjoy your Labor Day weekend.